How to make time for the gym. Hi everyone, Dan here from the Geek Physique, back for another video. Before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss anything else from us. Make it a non-negotiable. You have this with other parts of your life already. You have it with your work, with your family, maybe with your relationship. And it's a complete mindset shift because you will turn up for all those other things. So you've got to ask yourself, what makes the gym different? Because you might think it's selfish, some of you, to put yourself first. But if you want to show up in the best way possible for your work, for your family, for your relationship, for everything else in your life which you hold so dear to you right now, then actually it's completely necessary, because the better you are, the better you can show up for everyone else. I've said this in other videos, but you want to make sure you're giving from your overflow rather than trying to give to other people and other things in your life when you're already half empty. So it is a mindset shift, and I'm going to go through in the other points how you can make it a non-negotiable. So it starts with schedule it and set reminders. You have a schedule for your work, right? And everyone accepts this schedule. Oh, I need to be at work at that time. No one will question that because of all the other things that come with it, right? And this does tie back into point number one, but the reason people respect your work schedule, or maybe, if you have kids, you have to take them to school, right? We work with some dads, they have to take their kids to school. No one will question that, right? Because it's the school's schedule, similar to your work schedule. But the reason people don't question it is because it's accepted, but there's consequences that come with it if you don't follow that schedule. If you don't get to work, you might lose your job, you might not be able to pay your bills. If you don't get to your kid to school on time, they might get in trouble, you might get in trouble with the school, etc. There are consequences if you don't get to the gym because you're not going to get to your goals, right? And you might see it as, oh, but that's only a benefit. Actually, it's not, because if you don't prioritize your health, maybe it doesn't affect you today or tomorrow or next week. The consequences are still there, but they're usually a lot more delayed. And actually, if you leave it and just stay the way you are and just regress over time, because you're either progressing or regressing, you're not really staying the same at any point in time, then you're actually going to get a lot worse and the consequences are going to be a lot more severe when they happen. So getting back to point number two, make sure you schedule it and set reminders. And this is practical. You can go away and do this right now. I want you to go into your phone and say, I'm going to get so many gym sessions in a week. Commit to something that you can actually be consistent with, right? We recommend with guys to do minimum 2, if not at least 3 sessions a week at the gym. I believe anyone can do that with any schedule. This includes shift workers where their shift changes all the time. It could be on a weekly basis. It could be temporarily, like on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes I've worked with people like that. Doctors, people who work for the NHS, carers, people who are caring for their own family or work as carers, people who travel a lot, so they might actually end up working a 14 or 16-hour day if they do a 12-hour shift. I work with people of all of these kinds, and they've all been able to do 3 workouts a week. So schedule those 3 workouts a week, and that way you make sure they're going to be done. Make it a reminder so it actually pings you and it chases you on your phone. You could even set multiple reminders. And if you want to go a step further, you could set reminders the day before, the night before, to get what you need ready. Just like you have your work clothes ready, they're washed, they're ironed, things like that. You want to do the same with your gym clothes, because it makes it more of a thing. Just like you do your work, it makes you see it in the same way as your work, the same way as getting your kid ready for the next day to go to school, etc. The last point is train in the morning or as early as possible. This is so key, and it changed the game for me. I always love going to the gym. Yes, I don't always feel like going. Yes, I'm not always motivated. You're never going to be. Forget that. It's never going to happen, guys. So what you can do when you know that's the case is remove every single excuse there can be other than you getting up and going, because that is really you committing to do this. Now, I am under no illusion that not everyone can make this shift. Some people work so early in the morning and it just doesn't work for them. But the point is this, in your day cycle, your normal day-to-day cycle in your week, if you have the ability to just wake up earlier, go to bed earlier, you should do it. It shouldn't be even a consideration in your mind. It shouldn't be, oh, but then, I need to adjust my sleeping pattern. Who cares? Do it, right? If you do have certain commitments that you just can't change right now in your life, then do it as early as possible in the day. The reason being is, again, you want to remove every single excuse. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, well, this and this happened with work and I wasn't able to do it. Because usually we plan for best case scenario. Oh, when the right time comes, if this happened, when that happens, then I'll be able to make the gym. No. I was just talking with one of our guys this week and it really resonated with him because he was like, you know what, Dan, I needed to hear this. I needed to hear that actually I do have the time. I needed you to call me out on my BS and realize that I do wake up early enough. I just do this and that in the morning and don't really spend my time wisely. And this particular guy, lucky enough for him, he was actually 10 minutes away from his work. But he works really long shifts and often, because he really cares about his job like we all do, he stays late. So he's not really going to have the time and he's going to feel too tired, too drained. So I said, do it in the morning, 3 times a week, get it done. Do the hard work first. This goes for anything other than the gym. Set up your life in a way that you don't just reward yourself for doing nothing. This is kind of a bonus tip, right? And this isn't just central to the gym, it's central to any goal you want to achieve. But do the hard work first, and then the rewards you give yourself will feel so much sweeter, and they'll actually feel like you've earned them because you've done what you need to do first, right? So, like I said, train in the morning removes all the excuses. This has been a short, sharp video, guys, but these 3 things are super practical and you can start implementing them today, this week, and you can really start working on them. And I'll promise you that over time, it will become part of your life and part of your identity. I've said that in other videos and people said, oh, just change your identity. That sounds easy, doesn't it? I can know it sounds like something which isn't an easy thing to do. And it's not, right? It will take time, but we are our habits. If you've heard me in my other videos, I'll link it at the end, 5 books that changed my life. One of those books was Atomic Habits, and it talks about how you are the things that you do, not that the things that you say you do, right? People judge people on their actions, not their words. Words are cheap, they're easy, right? People can write them online and spread hate and blah, blah, blah. But really, you are what you do. So you, over time, when you start to make this a thing, you'll start to just accept it. It'll start to become automatic. You can start to remove those reminders because you'll just do it anyway, regardless of how you feel, whether you're happy, sad, whatever. Plus, the people in your life will, and I guess this is actually a genuine bonus tip for making time for the gym. Often there can be resistance from other parts of your life, be it your family, your work, whatever. And genuinely, even with your work, you might not think it, right? Oh, it's my job. They're already on me to do this, that, and the other. Trust me, over time, the better jobs you get, you can start to agree up front and set expectations up front that actually I am very health conscious. I do prioritize the gym and myself. And the reason I do that is for me, but also so I can show up the best way possible in my work, with my family. And I have not met one person in my IT career that has thought, well, how selfish of you. They've thought, well, more power to you, man. Like, that's fine. We have people working remotely all over the world. The fact that you just start maybe half an hour later some days is okay. And I'm not saying you can do that right now, but what I'm saying is once you become that guy, people will start to just know you as that guy. So making time for the gym will literally become automatic, but you have to make it intentional to begin with. So let me recap all these steps. Hope that bonus tip was helpful for you as well. So make it a non-negotiable, schedule it, set reminders, train in the morning or as early as possible, and know that when you become that guy, it will get easier over time and people will start to respect it. I hope that was helpful, guys. There's probably going to be another video here or here, and I'll see you in the next one.